Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks, and I am your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI, and your host of this daily Sun Devils Insider Podcast. Once again, I'm so grateful to be joining you once again on this Saturday. We are roughly, as of this recording, about 20 hours out from Arizona State men's basketball going into a massive road battle against the number 7 Houston Cougars, who, as you might have forgotten, were roughly 20 seconds away from winning the NCAA tournament a year ago. Houston has really become the powerhouse in the Big 12. Not to say there aren't multiple powerhouses, but they are the team. Kansas is the program from the Big 12 that has won a national title most recently. But Houston has more consistently been a powerful force inside the conference over the last 3 seasons. Uh, I mean, the preview of this game is going to be pretty straightforward, I think. The keys to Arizona State winning this game are going to be pretty straightforward. And we are still awaiting the player availability report that will be out by the time of this recording dropping. The hope is that Marcus Adams Jr. will be able to give it a go. I'm not entirely confident that he will be able to, because Coach Hurley said last Saturday that it was more of a 7 to 10 day time frame for Marcus, or maybe even more. But getting Bryce Ford back was a massive step in the right direction. There's no denying that. And the Sun Devils are coming off of what was their most impressive performance, I'd say, since the 86-70 win over Oklahoma over a month ago. Even though they lost Arizona, they showed an incredible amount of fight. Arizona fans that I have seen have widely categorized that as the least impressive victory they've gotten all season in their 17-0 quest for perfection right now. So take with that what you will. My personal conclusion is that this Arizona State team is a much different and much better team this year compared to the previous 2 years or so. And I believe that the record is misleading right now. I think Arizona State is absolutely built for an NCAA tournament appearance once again. Now let's get into a little bit around the game. So we all know that the Houston Revival has largely been built around just suffocating defense, grit and grind, very much like I guess a fair comparison would be the Memphis Grizzlies of the early 2010s. Very methodical offense, take quality shots on a consistent basis, get to the rim on offense, and then defensively, I mean, what more can you say about Kelvin Sampson's defensive philosophy? Uh, just relentless ball pressure. You're rarely ever going to have any space as a ball handler. The fact that they like to blitz a ball handler when they are driving to the hoop. Uh, they like to double and trap off of pick and rolls. They heavily deny post action, so this might be a tough game for Masamba Diop to really get going. Uh, I think he will make an impact, but it's going to be an uphill climb for him too, because of how relentless and athletic Houston's defense is, and I think that it reflects in both Houston's roster, the way it's constructed, and the way they play on the court. I mean, you can have great physical measurables to the end of time, But if you aren't disciplined, if you aren't consistent, if you don't communicate, if you don't have high IQ on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to get exposed one time or another. Houston rarely ever gets exposed. They are number 3 nationally, I believe, in defensive efficiency, according to KenPom. They allow under 60 points per game just off of raw averages. They have multiple NBA level defenders, and it's going to be a test for the Sun Devils. I think the clearest path that Arizona State has to victory is really, I guess this is considered lazy, but continue what they were doing against Arizona. Uh, they were assertive against Arizona, but not overly aggressive. They weren't afraid to get the three ball off. They weren't afraid to get that volume. Uh, Although the 3 point volume was quality, they also took quality shots. It wasn't reckless abandon when it came to the 3 point shooting distribution from where on the court it was, and to how tightly contested the shots were. And a lot of that had to do with Mo Odom and Masamba Diop, their 2 man game just being incredible. Uh, I think that they are going to need to win the turnover battle, which that's easier said than done, especially with the way that Houston's offense operates right now, and we will talk about that in a moment. But I mean, it's going to be a test for the Sun Devils. It might be even an even bigger test than the Arizona game was. And Arizona's ranked higher in net; they're ranked number 1 in the country. But that's just how much of a test I think that Houston is going to be as a linear matchup. Um, and what makes it even more of a challenge is that Houston is, I mean, their offense has a higher ceiling this season. I don't think there's any denying that whatsoever. I think that Kingston Flemings is probably the best table setting point guard they've had during the Kelvin Sampson era. And not only is he a quality table setter as a freshman point guard, he's also an explosive scorer. He's had several incredible scoring performances. I believe he shoots over 50% from the floor and around 40% from 3 point range. I think that, and that's the scary part is that Flemings isn't even their top scoring option according to many. I would even personally say that Emmanuel Sharp is probably their number 1 scoring option, and Sharp is a little less efficient from the floor compared to Kingston Flemings, but his volume is higher and his 3 point shooting is very, very phenomenal. Milos Uzan has been a bit of a disappointment this season. I hate to say it, but he's taken a big dip in efficiency, both as a 3 point shooter and inside the arc. Still, he provides very strong individual and team defense. He's still scoring in the double figures, and I think that he really has potential to be the X factor of this game for Houston. If he has an efficient game, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Sun Devils to come out with a victory. And to close things out, Chris Enoch Jr. is going to be a major test for Diop, just like the Arizona front line was. 5-star freshman. I believe he averages about a block and a half per game. Just very athletic, very active. Just a testament to how well built this Houston team is and how much of an immediate challenge they're going to present to Arizona State. 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tip-off, ESPN broadcast, and that's really all I have for today as far as the Arizona State men's basketball program is concerned. Thank you so much for all the support that each and every one of you, give to me every single day by watching this episode of the Sun Devils Insider podcast. And I will see you with another episode tomorrow.